Yes, sir. It's Lumberjacks coming right back at you from Lyster, Quebec, and a great competition we've had with a whole lot of chopping and sawing. I'm going to change gears right now with an event called the water boil, often referred to as a kettle boil. We're going to be showing you 2 heats of the kettle boil. The first heat, we're going to have 4 pair of competitors. The second heat, 5 pair of competitors. What are the rules to this crazy event?
It's an awesome event. We love doing this event on the East Coast. You get a solid block of wood, 1 axe, usually a couple of matches and a can of soapy water. You got to build a fire as fast as you can, put the kettle on, give the heat enough so that it boils that soapy water up out of the can.
Now, obviously, you're going to have to start small. You can see a couple of blocks there by Dave Grime. He's not going to use and light those big blocks. They want to start the shavings and build from there, right?
There's no way you can put a match to a block of wood this big and expect it to start, so you've got to start small, make shavings. Usually the trick is, watching Gaston here trying to get his going, is you got to get the matches underneath the shavings so the heat comes up through and actually starts them. You watch Gaston here, he's actually putting his matches on the side of the shavings so the heat's not actually coming up underneath and able to catch those shavings on fire.
Well, Mr. Muller and Mr. Morris are doing an excellent job getting things going. Gaston and Donald, our true blue Canadians, are really struggling. Gaston's actually using 2 matches at once, trying to strike them, get a little bit bigger flame.
Not a bad idea. Usually we're allowed 5 matches in New Brunswick. I use all of them at the same time. Keep 1 off to the side, starting with 4 because you get a big flame. It actually is a lot more heat to get your shaving started.
Here's a team of Dave Grime, and he's kind of smothering the thing with these 2 big blocks around the front. How's he going to let any air in?
That's quite interesting. The other problem he has is the blocks are holding up so much of the can, there's very little fire hitting the bottom of the can. I don't think that thing will ever boil.
Well, Donald's son, Michel Lambert, is in this heat with Marcel Poirier doing an excellent job and leading the way at this point. They got a huge fire going with most of the team still struggling along.
It's great to watch this from the crowd because you see fires just all of a sudden erupt up when they get them going. See, fellows usually will blow on them. There's a lot of strategy here whether to see. You can see here the blowing on the fire. Sometimes, and especially out here in Quebec this day, it was really windy. All you had to do was really sit back and let the wind take it.
Craig Morris is trying to blow as much wind into that as possible. Dave Grime, let's hope his beard doesn't catch on fire. That could be illegal.
Usually if whatever's laying around, I love to throw it on the fire. Watch the sides of the can. You need to have a lot of wood around the sides of the can because once it starts boiling from underneath, if you don't have that wood and the fire on the sides of the can, it won't boil up over the top. There's a great example right here.
It's boiling over the edge. We got some great fires going on. Looks like this one's coming up over the edge, and the winning team is Marcel Poirier and Donald Lambert's son Michael Lambert celebrating the big victory with a time of 4:14.16. As we head into heat number 2, he's got the crowd all gunned up and a big celebration with Uncle Marcel. Heading into heat number 2, we got 5 teams of 2 pair of competitors. Calvin Willard, Vince Maciel, Jewett Mercier, Billy Cornelius and Chris Sikora, Gingras and Sullivan and Hugues Filion and Jean-Simon Bertrand. They got to be the favorites.
In the East, we usually have a singles kettle boil. Right here, we're watching a doubles kettle boil. Usually a singles kettle boil will be over in about 3.5 minutes. With 2 guys, usually it can get done a little bit quicker. The fellows, what we're seeing here, of course, is a lack of experience. A lot of these guys have never done a kettle boil before in their lives. Hugues Filion, though, did it at college. He should have an advantage.
Jerry and Mike are going to struggle through this one. Mike told me before the show got started, he says, I do this, once a year, maybe once every 2 years. But it's always a great event to have at the end of the day. It's a good kind of celebration event, and it's a little bit more relaxed. Look at Hugues and Simone, the French Canadians. They're working hard. Hugues probably coaching him all the way.
You bet he's telling him how to do this. He knows how to do it in doubles. He's giving him all kinds of instructions on how to get it going.
Same strategies. One of the keys, of course, if you watch the previous heat, if you are in fact lucky enough to go in the second heat, you can see how the guys do it. You can see also how the wood reacts, because sometimes you're going to get some wood that's a little bit more moist than other wood. If Hugues has done his job, he's providing them with some nice dried, maybe even kiln-dried cedar.
If you know your wood is really dry, you can get away with a lot more. Quality wood, doesn't matter what event we do in the lumberjack world, quality wood says a lot about how you actually strategize and do the event. If it's really dry wood, you can get away with a lot more. If it's wet, you've got to take your time, make sure the shavings are really tiny, and get the thing going.
Well, you can see the last shot of Simone and Hugues. They were trying to close the fire in. Here's another shot of Jewett and Mercier. They got things closed in to try and contain the heat, because otherwise the heat's going to escape out the sides, and you want it heating your can.
Amazing to see Jewett and Mercier doing that well. This is, again, 2 guys that don't do this hardly at all.
Time is 4:14. The clock is right now coming up to 3:45. Right now we got a rolling boil at the bottom of the can for Simone Bertrand and Hugues Filion. We're creeping up on 3:50. They got to get the job done real quick here.
This is the stage of the game where you hope you have the fire up the whole way around the side of the can so it won't just stay there and hold like this can's doing. Hey, Vince Maciel and Calvin Willard having a great fire going here. They may actually be in the top 5.
Here we are coming up on 405, and there it is! Simone Bertrand and Hugues Fillion win the water boy with a time of 4:04 flat. What an excellent job. You know, as you call it, Rod, Hugues has learned those skills from McGill University when he was on the Woodsman team there. What a great job by all the competitors in the water boil. But the overall champions are Simone Bertrand and Hugues Fillion, with Jerry Gingras and Mike Sullivan wiping up the rear.
And the crown pivotal point today is Chris Sikora in this field of huge hot Sawyers. All great. He takes a 4.36 and wins it.
And our overall standings here in Lyster, Quebec, a whole lot closer than we had thought, with Simone Bertrand winning the water boil, coming within 25 points of Dave Jewett, our gas guzzler Lumberjack of the day. Dave, overall champion here today in Lyster, Quebec. Pretty good field of competitors, some Canadians and Americans, but again, consistency is the name of the game, right?
Yeah, it really is, and I think people at home don't realize the field of competitors that were here. I was just thinking about it. You have the 3 cuts on 15-inch log. You have the best hot Sawyers in the world here. Probably one was missing. 2-man teams, 2-man crosscut, best Sawyers in the world were here. Both Sawyers, the best in the world, were here today.
For the second year in a row, another very successful event here in Lyster, Quebec. This year, the weather is a little bit more on our side. Hats off to Hugues Fillion and the whole town of Lyster for putting this thing together.
In a lot of sports, usually it's the young guys that dominate. Interesting to watch today here in Lumberjack sports. It seems to be the guys with the age and the experience that pull it through every time.
Come back again next week. We're going to be in St. Stephen, New Brunswick. But once again, it's going to be time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. K100, we make water burn. Yamaha, what kind of Yamaha are you?
Couple of quick tips for the obstacle pole buck. First of all is picking the saw up. After the word go, some guys will actually grab the back handle, which drives your bar into the dirt. What I rather do is grab the middle part of the bar on the middle handle. So when they say 3, 2, 1, go, I'm off and I've grabbed the center of the saw. It's well balanced. When I hit the log, the next thing I'm doing is as I'm traveling up the log, I'm switching hands so that my pull cord hand is on the pull cord and ready to start the saw as soon as I hit the line. Then when I get to the end of the log, I'm right into the wood.